Saint Gemma Galgani, 1878 to 1903, by Grace Bacalina. One of her famous quotes is, "What a beautiful death, O Lord, to die a victim of love, a victim for you." Saint Gemma was one who never gave up on God during hard times in her life. She was a symbol to never give up and never doubt in anybody or anything, because the unexpected can happen. Saint Gemma Galgani was born in the year 1878 in the small village of Camagliano in the town of Caponori. She was very in touch with her prayer life in and out of the church when she was young. When she was young, she fell ill with spinal meningitis. This illness could have costed her her life, but that is not what happened. She prayed to Gabriel Posetti for help along her journey through this illness. Eventually, through those prayers, Saint Gemma was miraculously cured. She gave up marriage for God because He was the only one she needed in her life. 2 young men proposed marriage to her, yet she declined them because she knew God was the only figure she ever needed. She often spent part of the night praying and anxiously waiting to receive Jesus in Holy Communion. And besides sleep, she spent 24 hours of her day praying. In ecstasy one night she said, "See, O Jesus, even at night, those hours. I sleep, but Jesus, my heart does not sleep. It watches thee at all hours." Even when she slept, her heart still raced for the Lord, still breathed for the Lord, still yearned for the Lord. Her spiritual life had ups and downs, but always tried to help out any way she could. Saint Gemma Galgani always wanted to be a nun, but due to her poor health, she was unable to. With this sadness, she gave it up to God. This was important because she craved to help the poor, and due to matters she could not control, she couldn't. A very important part in her spirituality was receiving the stigmata. Saint Gemma was one of few who received the markings of Jesus upon her body. The stigmata had been on her body up until age 22, 3 years before her death. For the last 3 years, she had whitish marks on her body in place of the deep gashes, and those lasted up until her death. Through the event of the stigmata, I believe she had gotten closer with God and had even more faith in Him now that He blessed her with the markings of His only Son. Saint Gemma's spirituality with the Lord was endless love, because she would die in a heartbeat just so she could be next to God forever in heaven. Not only did her prayer life and spirituality have a big play into her relationship with God, but her writings showed us the tight bond the two had. She had a diary that contained all of her encounters with Jesus, the devil, and many other holy prominent figures. One time in her diary, she mentioned how she wanted to see Jesus on the cross and feel His pain, and then He appeared in front of her and placed a crown of thorns He wore upon her. Another time, she saw the devil in the form of a great black dog. The devil, being resembled as a dog, placed its paws upon her back, making every bone in her body ache. Its paws upon her back made her feel heavy and weighed down under the devil's control. She then did the sign of the cross with the relic around her neck, and this helped strengthen her and made her feel calm. This was an important moment because in this you can see how powerful Jesus is and how He will never leave you in times of suffering. Another time when the devil was tempting her, he mentioned to her that if she continued to pray, it would only make her suffer. Her response was, "It doesn't matter. I suffer for Jesus." Saint Gemma always did everything with Jesus in mind to always make sure she was doing everything in His likeness. A quote to show her relationship with God is, "It is an easy love, O Jesus, to love someone that never gets angry with those who offend Him. Many times I have seen, O Jesus, that while justice demands that I be punished, you take steps to prevent this punishment, even to have it withdrawn. I have found a Jesus so infatuated with my heart that He knows not how to embitter it. He wants everything for Himself in reparation for my sins. It is almost a lucky break for me to have been born a sinner, because the veins of my Lord are always open, full of that sacramental blood." This quote shows that it is easy to love the Lord and God because He forgives us. She brought up times in her life she knows she should have been punished by God, but He never did punish her. She says that God will do anything for her to fix the sins she may have done, and that she is open to the Lord with this spirit running through her body by Him. A prayer by St. Gemma is, I am happy in every way that Jesus wills, and if Jesus wants to sacrifice of my life, I give it to Him at once. If He wants anything else, I am ready. One thing alone is enough for me, to be His victim, in order to atone for my innumerable sins, and if possible, for those of the whole world. In this prayer, it shows us how we should live here on earth and with God. It says that we should be willing to give up anything, our belongings, our shelter, even ourselves, up for God. It reminded me of Jesus at the crucifixion, because Jesus was innocent, yet He still sacrificed Himself out of love for us to forgive us for our innumerable sins. We feel His presence and love with us every day of our lives. From this prayer, we learn that yes, we will sin and mess up, but God still loves us, and for that, we must be willing to do anything for Him, because He is willing to forgive us the many times we mess up and love us endlessly. St. Gemma Galgani was the ideal person to look up to for having the perfect relationship with God. Her prayer life, spirituality, and writings always showed us the tight bond the two had. They can help us make our bond with God a little bit stronger. People sometimes say she had a special place in the heart of the Lord, but I just say she is the gem of the Lord's eye.